Have you ever wondered if the supplements you're taking are actually doing anything for you? Most busy parents and entrepreneurs are taking pills, popping, doing some powders because someone on Instagram told them to. But timing, combos, and dosage matter way more than most people realize. That's why so many people waste their money on supplements that never really deliver, while a few simple hacks can make the same stuff you're taking already way more powerful. So we're going to break that down in today's episode. 8, or I think maybe even 9, math is hard, research backed supplement hacks that's going to help you sleep a little bit better, think a little bit clearer, decrease your stress, and then maybe even age a little bit slower. Welcome to Get Leaner and Live Longer with Nate Palmer, the show for busy people who want to maximize their energy, burn fat, and build a body that feels as good as it looks. I'm Nate Palmer. I've been a coach since 2008, and I believe that looking great and feeling unstoppable does not require hours in the gym or giving up all the foods that you love. This show is where I share real strategies that help you get leaner and live longer. So, are you ready to cut through the noise, take control of your health, and feel like a high performer again? Well, stick around. Let's do this. So, we're going to be talking about supplement hacks today. And these are just some things that I've been thinking about doing on my own recently that I wanted to kind of combine into a podcast. It started off with just like a couple things. Did a little bit of research, found a couple of different studies, and then I want to, so I could, bundle it all up into a nice cohesive episode. I'm probably going to do 3 of these hacks episodes. I'm going to do this one for supplements. I got another one coming for food hacks, and then I'm going to do a lifting hacks. So because I think parents, entrepreneurs, busy people, we're already running on limited time, energy, and sleep. So if we're already doing stuff in the gym, we're already eating correctly. So like for the most part, and if we're already taking supplements, let's maximize the abilities of those supplements to actually get us results, right? Like if it's a timing issue where you can take something in the morning rather than at night and you get better results from it, then, great. That's going to help you in the long run. And some of these hacks are crazy because they'll get like 2 to 4x better results just doing these things slightly differently. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. If you're not taking any of these supplements, I'd love to be a resource for you in that arena. $1 Million Body Labs is running a big sale right now, so you can check them out, milliondolarbodylabs.com. And if you don't get your supplements from us, that's cool. No problem there. I just want to make sure that you have what you need. So we're breaking down some simple hacks that'll make your supplements work harder for you. So by the end, you'll know which ones can help you sleep a little bit better, think clearer, and then maybe even age a little bit slower. So hack number 1, talking about collagen. Collagen's hot right now. I know that because I've been on Instagram recently, and Instagram is filled with people trying to sell me boner pills and collagen, it seems like. And okay, so I struggle with this because it's like Instagram knows me really well. I'm getting algorithmed, right? So I feel like, if Instagram was like, "Hey, have you checked your heart health recently?" I'd be like, "Oh shit, like maybe I should get to doctor, check my heart health." But it keeps being like, are you dealing with ED? And I'm like, should I be? Is that a problem for me? And I'm getting in my own head. So I don't know if you relate or not to that. Getting a lot of pills for like Rougiet and all these things. So that's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about collagen. But collagen alone doesn't actually build collagen. You need something else to go along with it as what's called a cofactor. So the cofactor here is a very expensive, very hard to find pill that you can only get if you excavate the Amazon rainforest, and it's called vitamin C. Vitamin C. Yeah, it's new. A lot of people are talking about it. But here's the trick: is just take a scoop of collagen and then if 200, 300 milligrams of vitamin C. You can do as much as like up to 500. If you don't absorb vitamin C, you just pee it right out. So it's not a big deal. Vitamin C is also great for, improving your immune system and making sure that if you're having a cold, it doesn't run that long. But you can put that into a shake. You can take your collagen in your coffee and then have like the vitamin C pills along with it, whatever works best for you and your schedule. But this combination actually has been proven in research to improve your skin elasticity, improve joint function, and improve the hair density and strength. The skin elasticity, that's a really big one. A lot of people, want that, especially as we age. But the joint function is super interesting because a lot of people take like a glucosamine or chondroitin. They started doing different things for that to improve their joint health. But in reality, collagen is amazing for that, but you have to have the vitamin C that goes along with it. So in case you didn't get it early on, the vitamin C is really it's very inexpensive. You can find it in a lot of places. You don't need to get in some sort of exotic blend. Just get regular vitamin C. So I started putting some collagen in my morning shakes with and then taking like just 2 tablets of vitamin C that along with that. And while I won't like, I'm not like saying that I notice a massive difference in terms of my like joints per se. I feel my joints feel pretty good. The place that I'm noticing it a lot is in hair thickness and my nails. My nails are growing so damn fast when I do this combination. Like I'm having to trim them like every 3 days just to keep them from like clicking on the keyboard. So try this out. Skip that glucosamine chondroitin. It's not as effective for joint repair as this simple combo, which is super cheap and easy to come by. Hack number 2 is creatine. Creatine for sleep deprived days. So sleep loss kills brain ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It's a natural compound. We get creatine in like steaks and red meat, and that improves our body's natural ATP. ATP is also awesome for short bouts of like intense energy, your sprints, your lifts, that sort of thing. Not great for, or that's not like the primary energy source that we get for long runs and heavy cardio, but this is a major player in your body's natural energy. And if without the ATP, especially brain ATP, you get more fatigue, more brain fog, lower focus. So if you are sleep deprived, you only got a couple hours of sleep, you were waking up all night, or maybe you drank the night before and you just didn't sleep as well, having 20 to 25 grams of creatine after your poor sleep will blunt some of that cognitive decline. So it's not going to like wake you up like the way a shot of espresso will, but it will keep you from having that moment where you're just like, I don't even know the word for that anymore. And you're like, that's your daughter's name. Figure it out. So this is a really helpful hint, especially for parents, especially for entrepreneurs. Just take 25 grams of this stuff, which is basically 5 scoops in the morning after a poor sleep day. Now you don't want to do this all the time, just kind of a big dose occasionally for sleep deprivation. For daily use, like 5 to 10 grams is usually plenty. I'm doing a test right now where I'm doing 15 grams a day to see what happens if I get super, super huge and look like Arnold, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated. And since I post a lot of pictures of myself with my shirt off, I'm sure you'll see that on the internet. But like the other day, I had a morning where my kid woke me up at 3 a.m. and I was like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And he's like, "I just want to give you a hug." And I was like, "3 a.m.'s not the time for hugs." And so then you obviously send your kid back to bed, and then you're mad, and then they're mad, and then your heart rate's up, and then you don't sleep very well. That's a good time for that 25-gram dose of creatine. Big hack there. That's a game changer. Hack number 3 is magnesium glycinate at night. Maybe you already know this one. Magnesium is awesome because it lowers your cortisol and increases your GABA, which leads to deeper sleep. Magnesium is also really, really helpful in terms of managing your hormones and allowing your body to have all the nutrients and enzymes it needs to manufacture hormones while you're sleeping. Glycinate, in my opinion, is the best absorbed type of magnesium. It passes the blood-brain barrier really well. There's no GI distress that you get from like the oxides. Generally, what you're looking for is the suffix, like the glycinate. You want something that's like 8, AT, glycinate, taurinate, gluconate, anything like that is going to be better than the oxide, citride, anything like that. The ides we don't want. The oxide is going to make you poop your pants, so don't take that. So research shows that this improves our sleep quality. It reduces our stress. I gave this to a client who thought they were just a bad sleeper. And we had them actually doing like a higher dose. So normally the dose is somewhere like around 200, 300 milligrams. So I had them like doubling that dose to go to like 400, 450. And 3 weeks later, they were sleeping and hitting like 90s on their sleep scores in their Oura ring. So they were, passing out quickly, waking up with a lot of energy, feeling a lot better. And it was a super simple fix. That stuff's also not incredibly expensive. It's also the way I think about some supplements, because a lot of people are like, well, will I notice a difference? I personally don't notice a big difference when I sleep with magnesium. I'm already doing so many things right. I'm not drinking. I'm eating the right foods. I'm getting a lot of exercise and movement. So that wasn't like it took me from 0 to 10 or anything like that. But I always think about like how our bodies repair and rebuild. And this is how I think about supplements. But every 7 years, the oldest cell in our body is 7 years old. There are some cells that replicate and like that we duplicate on a like daily or weekly basis. And where do they get the stuff to duplicate our cells and to like create those copies is from whatever raw materials we're putting into our bodies. Now, over the last 100 years or so, soil quality and nutrient density has gotten a lot lower in the food that we're eating. So it's nice to give our body like a boost of the raw materials. So even if I don't necessarily feel it, this is one that I keep in my diet all the time. And in fact, a couple months back, I had actually ran out for a month, and I noticed a difference that my sleep got a little bit more choppy and sporadic. My Oura ring was showing me that I was waking up more at night, even if I didn't really notice, and my sleep scores went down. So try that. Avoid the oxide or citrides before bed. That causes bathroom trips, and we don't need that. Don't need that negativity. Hack number 4. And this is like a combo hack. So check this one out. So omega-3s and vitamin Ds. We're going to talk about both of those. This is kind of like a longevity and brain duo. Now, omega-3s, so there's this new study that showed that if you want to take your omega-3s with your fattiest meal of the day. So if you're doing a $1 million body method, usually that's going to be your breakfast. So we're having like, some form of fat, but either like nuts or peanut butter or eggs or sausage or something like that. So that's a good time to take that. And what's crazy about that is that your absorption can be 2 to 3 times higher. According to a study in the Nature Aging 2024, this you could actually absorb more of the omega-3s that you're getting with your meals. Plus, it showed that just a gram a day of omega-3s slowed your epigenetic aging by 3 to 4 months over 3 years. So if you're thinking about that in terms of like percentages, you're slowing that down by like 8% a year, slowing aging. That's incredible. And that's just a simple little tweak. Again, omega-3s are cheap. They're easy to come by. Make sure you're getting a good high quality omega-3, but this is not a big change for a massive boost to anti-aging. So rather than buying all the methylene blues and saunas and cold plunges and stuff like that, just take your omega-3s with your highest fat meal. That kind of goes into the vitamin D. Vitamin D is also something you want to take with your fatty meal. That's going to be helpful. And then vitamin D is also something you want to take in the morning because it will decrease. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it'll decrease your melatonin production, your natural melatonin production. So, which is good because you don't want melatonin in the morning. That's kind of what's going to help you sleep. But you also don't want to decrease it at night. So it's not going to make a big difference. It's not going to like keep you up, but I try to not take it at night. I also try not to eat my heaviest meal at night, like my fattiest meal. So there's some study though that showed like low vitamin D. It was in Nutrients, the magazine Nutrients. It was low vitamin D people who had low vitamin D had a worse mood, lower BDNF, which is brain derived neurotropic factor, which basically helps you think and be smarter. And they have a higher risk of cognitive decline. Vitamin D is also a huge immune boosting supplement as well. So taking this during the winter months, really, really important. When I started taking the vitamin D in the morning versus like other times during the day or being more diligent about it, that's when I actually saw my vitamin D levels go up. They don't even check for most people for vitamin D anymore, especially if you live in like the Pacific Northwest or the northern parts of the US, because they just assume you have D deficiency. So get out in the sun. That's a great time to do that, especially early in the morning. But vitamin D is a good fit as well. I take more vitamin D in Arizona in the summer than I do in the winter because I will be outside getting more rays in the winter because I'm not so scared of my skin burning off. You do get your labs checked. Vitamin D's toxicity is rare, but it's possible, especially if you're having like 500 drops. Just take like 5 drops a day. 5 drops, 5,000 IUs a day. And then look for the omega-3 quality. So make sure you're getting your omega-3s with your fattiest meal, vitamin D with your fatty meal, and then also making sure you're having vitamin D early in the morning. Fact number 5, electrolytes, first thing in the morning. After sleep, we have this mild dehydration, which, is natural. We haven't been drinking all evening, hopefully. And mild dehydration will lead to low energy, higher cortisol, and a decreased strength output. Just a 3% decrease in hydration, which is a lot, which is like kind of massive, will lead to something close to like a 20 to 30% decrease in strength. So having some water plus sodium, potassium, and magnesium before your coffee. I use the element packets there, or, sometimes I'll mess around and make my own electrolytes. That's a great way to improve your focus, prevent that fake fatigue that we get from dehydration. It'll actually improve your blood pressure as well. So that's kind of interesting because a lot of times we go back and forth about people who are like, well, I have high blood pressure. Can I still take electrolytes? And the research in this case says yes. So this is something that I've been doing for a couple of years now, and I just feel so much better. Try this out. And so in the $1 Million Body Method, one of our daily investments is like the AM routine. And basically the AM routine is super simple. It's 32 ounces of water in the morning and then 60 seconds of explosive exercise. So that's like jumping jacks, push-ups, something like that. It'll help wake you up. You'll feel really good. But the having the water early is massive for just improving how your brain feels. So try this out. And even if you don't want to wait super long, just have the electrolytes and water before you have your coffee. So that's really going to take the edge off and give you that no more 10 a.m. crash. Bonus points if you're having mostly proteins and fats for breakfast after you drink that water. It's so money. So don't be afraid of salt if you're otherwise healthy. Tailor it to yourself. Talk to your doctor if you're hypertensive. That's my caveat. I'm not a doctor. I know I look like one wearing this Creed shirt, but I'm not a doctor. All right, this is one that I've got. I do back and forth. Sometimes I'll do this, sometimes I won't. But this is hack number 6 is cacao and coffee combo. Cocoa. But basically adding 1 teaspoon of cacao, just like what you're looking for is like a non-Dutch cocoa powder. Cacao sounds a lot more pretentious. Non-Dutch cocoa powder. Hershey's makes some, but you don't want anything with sweetener in it. And you're just going to add that to your coffee. Blend it up. I use a little hand whisk. It's nice, but it boosts the cognitive benefits of coffee. And if you get jittery or anxiety from having too much caffeine, it will reduce that as well. This is also helpful for improving your nitric oxide production within your body, which is basically means you get better blood flow. And better blood flow means more blood flow to important areas, which means that I maybe don't need that Rougiet pill that I'm getting ED advertisements on Instagram for. So more nitric oxide is better, especially as we age, our bodies produce less and less of this. This cacao, especially if you do this over time, there's a lot of emerging research that shows that this can actually be helpful if you do deal with anxiety or depression. It's not something where you take it once and you feel a noticeable difference, but done over like 6 to 10 weeks, participants in studies noticed a marked improvement in how they felt. So that's kind of like whenever I think about it and I want to make like a super coffee, I'll do cacao, collagen, and a little bit of MCT oil. That's like one of my favorite, like out the door, got to run, but want some energy and to feel really good. Especially if I'm like speaking early in the morning or I'm podcasting or doing something that requires like a lot of mental focus. That's like my money. It's like my entrepreneur pre-workout is the cacao, coffee, collagen, and MCT oil. So try that out. And you get some protein in there from the collagen. So use the non-Dutch cacao. The alkalization removes polyphenols, which is not something we need. This is an interesting one. This is one that I found doing research. I've never personally tried this, but this is something that sounded really cool. Want to try this out. But basically, if you are taking a supplement or a pill, even like from like a pharmaceutical, and you just want to get that pill in your system faster, you're taking ibuprofen or whatever else, laying on your right side after taking these supplements or meds speeds up absorption because something called the duodenum is closer. So if you lay on your right side, it takes about 10 minutes to absorb it versus 23 minutes on your back versus 100 minutes laying on your left side. Crazy. That's crazy. So like you get it like 90% faster if you just lay on your right side after you take a pill or supplement. So if you need melatonin to work fast, or you need the ibuprofen to start hitting right away, don't lay flat, go to the right side. And then obviously if you're taking meds, check with the doctor. I probably should just say that over and over again. I don't know. You'll figure it out. You're an adult. Kids not allowed. If you're a kid, don't listen to this podcast. I say bad words sometimes. All right. This is the last one I got. This one's crazy. And I've seen this happen repeatedly with clients. And also I got a lab result back where I was like, my LDL cholesterol is high. That's not what I was hoping for. Even though I don't necessarily care about my cholesterol levels, there's a lot of research that shows that people can live a long period of time, even if their LDL is like quote unquote out of range. It's like 150 or 60 when it should be under 100. I'm not a doctor. I don't really know. This cholesterol thing is confusing to me. But here's something that really has been helping, especially clients who have like family history of high cholesterol, or we're taking a statin, or we're considering taking a statin. I have them do this for a little bit and retest their cholesterol before they get on pharmaceuticals. And it's been like 8 out of 10 times. It seems like it's working. So try this out. Add in psyllium husks, non-soluble fiber for cholesterol control. Psyllium husks, like Metamucil, you can just take a shot of this bad boy, like two teaspoons, just put it in water, wash it down. I've been taking it like in a shot glass, but someone told me don't take it in a shot glass because if it can get all goopy and like clog your throat. I've never had that happen, but now I'm like freaked out about it. So I put it in a big glass of water, then I chase it with another glass of water. But the thing about it is that fiber, like psyllium husks, binds to bile. And then that bile then kind of is excreted through your body, right? Just like the non-soluble fiber grabs onto bile, grabs onto toxins as well, even though that's not necessarily what we're talking about. But when that bile is excreted, bile comes from your liver. So your liver has to make more, which then pulls the cholesterol from your blood to help with the creation of more bile. Plus, the more you're forcing your liver to actually run through and use like detoxify your blood and go through that bile, the better it's going to function. 2 teaspoons a day lowers LDL by like 13 without hurting your HDL. That's kind of what the research is showing. 13, not a huge boost there, but done over time, it seems to even have a more pronounced impact. So yeah, like I said, I had a client who didn't want the statins, tried that psyllium husks over the course of about 6 weeks, dropped his LDL into normal range. And again, I'm not a doctor. This is just an anecdote from a guy on a podcast, but he went from 162 down to like 111 and didn't want to get on the statins. So that was cool. I like that. Plus, there's a lot of research going on showing that about how that non-soluble fiber can bind to toxins in your body, environmental toxins that we're just taking in all the time, and help excrete those. So I think that's like the carnivore crowd doesn't love a fiber; they are anti-fiber. But I just think that like with the level of toxicity in our current environment, you can't go wrong taking something like this. So take it with water to avoid your GI blockages, though. And then space away from your meds and stuff so it doesn't sweep those up with it. So do that like a time when you're not taking handfuls of meds. So these are not magic pills. I'm not giving you anything crazy. I'm not telling you about some new supplement that you need to start taking. They're just multipliers. They're going to help you busy parents and entrepreneurs get more from the little that they're already doing. Or maybe it's a lot. But either way, we like getting more for less. That's a huge win. So quick summary on that: collagen plus vitamin C for joints, creatine, a large dose for bad sleep, bad sleep days, magnesium to improve sleep, omega-3s and vitamin Ds with fat meals for brain health and aging, electrolytes in the morning for hydration and energy, cacao with coffee for better nitric oxide, better blood flow, decreased anxiety, right side laying pill hack for increased absorption and faster action on that, and psyllium for cholesterol control. So which one you try first? DM me, share your hack stories, or if I missed a hack that you swear by, send it to me, Nate@Nate.fit, or let's hang out on Instagram @_million-dollar-body. But if you want a system that goes beyond some of the hacks that ties into real nutrition, training, energy, that's what we do inside the $1 Million Body. Book a quick call or just go check that out, milliondolarbodylabs.com. You can book a call there, or just grab the $1 Million Body Prime, which is we're running a big discount on. That's training, that's nutrition, that's accountability, that's macros. Whatever you need, that's what we got you. So hit me back up. Let me know how it goes. And thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.